You are listening to The Michael Lodge Show. Wealth, business, and taxes. Oh yeah, and some politics. Let's get started.
Good morning, this is Mike Lodge. It's Friday. Is it Friday? Yeah, I think it's Friday. Time goes by so fast. This whole week has gone by. It zoomed by. And now we're here on Friday again. Listen, all of you in California, you have a duty to perform. You have a duty to recall Gavin Newsom. You have an individual there who was so bad as a mayor of San Francisco that he literally destroyed it, and now look what's happened. Based upon what he has done, San Francisco is almost ruined. It's almost burnt to the ground. He then became governor, and now he's almost burnt he's almost burnt the state down to the ground. The number one responsibility is to check that box on your voter ballot that says, yes, recall Gavin Newsom. The correct answer, and the only answer that should be there is, yes, recall Gavin Newsom. I'm not going to endorse any politician who's running for them. I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to do is say, the number one responsibility of every Californian that's there, if you want your state back, if you want lower housing, if you want lower taxes, if you want lower aggression by the state of California coming against you, the only thing that you can do is recall Gavin Newsom. Because then that sends a message to the entire Democratic state Senate and state assembly that we've had enough. You've had enough. Now, see, I was born in California. I was born in Vista, California, down by San Diego. And I've loved California, but I had to move away from it because I saw the crime going up. Can you imagine moving into a new house and within 1 week your car is stolen? That happened to me. And at that point in time, I said, okay, this is not going to work. We have a city of Los Angeles who doesn't care about crime anymore. We've got San Francisco who doesn't care about crime anymore. In fact, they're promoting crime in their city. People are running through stores, grabbing stuff because if it's under $900, they're not going to be charged with a crime. So California has really screwed itself by allowing this to happen. So we need to take the first step. And the first step to get California back is to recall Gavin Newsom. Because that man has literally destroyed a city and he's destroyed a state. Now remember, he went from mayor of San Francisco to lieutenant governor and then finally to governor. And as governor, he has literally burnt it down. If you look at all the wildfires that is going on, those never really happened that much before, only because the state had a policy where they would send out convicts from the state penitentiary and literally clear out the brush under those trees. Put fire lines in between the brush and homes. But then he said, no, we're not going to do that anymore. We're not going to protect the Californian. So now things are burning down. There's no more fire control. There's no more clearing out the brush and the old wood that drops down from the trees and the trees that die, that catch on fire so very quickly. No, he doesn't do that anymore. Instead, what he does, he says, let it burn. Californians, take your risk. Just let it burn. If you look at the educational system, our educational system in California ranks the lowest of the low. Because he has allowed unions to take control of the educational system, and so no education is being done correctly. And the other issue to that is that you've got so many migrants coming up from Mexico who cannot speak English, and so the teachers don't know how to deal with it. parents cannot help their kids in school because they can't read or write English. So they get no help from home. If you look at California, it's failing more and more every single day because individuals are not able to live nicely, to live freely. If you look at the United States as a ranking as a whole, there are children of 18 years old who are living in very crowded conditions at home because there's several families living at home. I think we're rated as 43% at 43% compared to other states. We rank the highest. So we have some issues in California that if we as Californians do not take back our government and do not take back our educational system and do not take back the excessive taxation that hits every single Californian, if we do not take that back, the state of California is going to die. So that's why I entitled my podcast today, Californians Have to Recall Gavin Newsom or Else. And the or else is not a good thing. Because as we look at California every single day, we're seeing it fail more and more and more and more. Businesses have been shut down for way too long. Mask mandates have attacked restaurants and other institutions and have literally closed their offices, their stores, their restaurants. You see, once you have a governor who controls you like a child and will not allow you to do anything without government's say, you've lost control of your lives. And that's what has happened. Lost control of California. Just 1 second. I have to talk to my dog because she is over there growling while I'm on this podcast. Zoe, stop. I have one dog who lives a life all by herself. She is not like a normal dog. She could live in California very well. In fact, she did live in California for a while. But she is this dog that just does whatever she wants. And she doesn't care about the other dogs. It's all about her. I'm telling you, she is a problem child. I don't know. Sometimes you get really good dogs. I have two really nice dogs. Two really nice. They're loving. They love people. Zoe loves people too, but she goes overboard. Right now, she looks like a zombie. I mean, that's what she looks like at the moment because I've literally skinned off all of her hair because it's so hot here in Florida that dogs just cannot survive with so much hair. So she literally looks skinless at the moment. But she's still stupid. She's still a stupid dog. I don't know what possesses her. She lives in this world all by herself. I mean, literally all by herself. And she's nutso. She's a nutso dog. But let's talk about Gavin Newsom. Listen, we have a situation in California at the moment where it's going downhill very, very quickly. Businesses are moving out of California. Jobs are moving out of California. What's left is service jobs. And technology, even technology is moving out of California because they've seen the handwriting on the wall that says it's too expensive to remain in California. So where are they moving to? Well, they're moving to San Antonio, Texas. They're moving to Miami, Florida. They're moving to states where there are no taxes. There are no state taxes. So they're moving to Arizona, no state tax. Nevada, no state tax. Florida, no state tax. Texas, no state tax. So they're going to states where it's business friendly. As in California, it's anti-business. If you are a business, they're going to go after you. If you know, with this last legislation that eliminated independent contractor work, you know there's a problem in California. They are so anti-business, but they are so pro-tax. They want every single dollar. I want to tell you something. I moved from California in 2018 and 19 because I was going back and forth, but I was moving it slowly out here. Last year, I received a notice from California. Now, I had closed down my corporation in California. It was done. And I had opened one up here in Florida, a Florida corporation. They went after me and they opened up an employer account of the EDD without telling me, without talking to me, without having any conversation to me, but they just went and did it. And now they keep sending me form after form after form. You need to fill this out. You haven't filled this out. You haven't filled this out. I don't need to fill it out. I have no employees there. I have no business there. I have no ties to California, except by friends. But here they did. They went and they opened up an EDD account in my name, and now they've been after me ever since. And I have nothing to do with California anymore. This is what really concerned me when I was there, because I could see the handwriting on the wall. And there's a lot of handwriting up there. You just got to read it, guys. But the handwriting on the wall at that time is that government was going to be very intrusive in your life. And sure enough, then COVID came and they became the dominance of your life. You could not open your churches. You could not go to school. You could not open your business. You could not survive unless they said you could. And it's still that situation even today where in California, those individuals in power think that they have the full power to control you. And that is very dangerous. And it comes from the top down. It comes from the governor's office down. So when you see this happening, it scares you tremendously because you know that you're just a small business. I was just a small business. I was just a one-man operation. But I knew if I stayed there, I was not going to be able to survive. I knew if I went to a business-friendly state, I would be able to survive. California was becoming tougher and tougher and tougher to do any type of business in for me. And I said, okay, I've got to make a decision. I have got to move. After being born there, after living there, after starting my companies there, after being able to build relationships and friendships and everything else, I had to make the serious decision on whether or not if I could survive there any longer. And I came to the conclusion, no, I could not, and I had to move. California is a very dangerous place now. You have police that want to do their job, but they can't do their job because government is holding them back from doing their job. You have individuals in Los Angeles and San Francisco saying defund the police as crime goes up. San Francisco's crime numbers have gone up. Los Angeles crime numbers have gone up. California as a whole, crime numbers have gone up. Because they have come to the conclusion that they're so anti-police, so anti-rule of law, that they don't care about the safety and welfare of the Californians anymore. They did an early release program of very dangerous criminals because the governor said it was costing them too much. So they released them. What happened? Crime ran up. So you see, we have a very dangerous situation in California. And if Californians don't take back the rule of law, if they don't take back the governorship, if they don't put someone that is common sense oriented instead of money-making, taxation oriented, you will not have a California if you don't make a change in the governor's office. You have got to send a very strong signal to all of the other politicians that are in California. Hey, listen, we're watching you and we're going to remove you too, because you have done so much damage to our country, our state. Sad. I believe in California. I believe that it can do great things, but it has to do with the people. What is your mindset as a Californian? Are you ready to make a change? Or do you just want to go along with the flow and don't want to make any waves? If you don't make any waves, if you don't start standing up for yourself as a citizen of California, you have lost California. You have lost it. So we have some responsibilities as Californian. Gosh, I used to love the beaches there. I used to love the hillsides that lead down to the beaches. I love the San Bernardino Mountains. I love San Francisco. I love everything about California. But the problem is you can no longer be safe in California. If you want to be safe again, elect an individual who believes in law and order. Do you realize that as a country, the United States is now ranked below Spain? We used to be number 5 for law and order. Now we have dropped down to 6. And we're going to drop down even more if we do not take back the law and order of our country, of our states, of our communities. You see, we have all of these individuals who say, "Oh, we don't need the police." We do need the police. The police are so vital to our safety. Now, you have to realize also, if you're a common sense human being, that sometimes we're not going to have some individuals in the police department that are going to be all that great. That happens within every organization, every corporation, every church, every school. There's always one or two individuals, a very small percentage, that makes a bad name for everyone else. Because why? Because they have a louder voice because they've done something bad. But all those individuals who have done something good, their voice is drowned out by the bad. Because that is the political agenda of a lot of individuals in California. If you do not drive out these organizations that are supporting this drive of defunding the police and lowering the safetiness of your communities, you're going to have a state that's out of control. It is out of control. But worse. So the or else of this podcast is, if you don't do something, if you don't stand up, if you don't have the cojones to stand up and say, okay, enough of this Gavin Newsom, get him out of office and put somebody in there that's going to do something good for the state, your state is going to continue to go downward faster and faster and faster. All those homeless tents that you see along the streets and under the freeway bypasses and everywhere, in every community, there's homelessness. If you don't have a governor that has the guts to do something about it, then you're absolutely nuts staying in California. I remember the day that I was moving out of California. I was listening to KFI radio out of Los Angeles. And the story for that moment, as I was in my U-Haul truck, almost to Palm Springs, just heading eastward, the story of the day is that the city of Los Angeles had to replace all of their carpeting because it was infested with fleas. And the fleas came from the rats, and the rats were driven by the homelessness. Because there's garbage and feces and everything all over the streets of California and Los Angeles. But Los Angeles had to replace their carpeting because it was infested with fleas. Now, if you think about that, if a state government has let their own city building go into decay like that, what do you think they're doing to the rest of your community? What do you think they're doing to your neighborhood? So, Californians, the or else is, if you don't vote Gavin Newsom out of office, the or else is going to be, your state is going to become a big old garbage dump. And you're going to be living smack in that dump. So we have to have a little bit of guts here. So those of you who are listening to me in California, please listen to my voice. I am pleading with you. Get rid of Gavin Newsom, because once you do that, you will see a change in the state's thought process. That it's time now to do something for Californians who live there, who work there, who's raising their children there, who's sending them to school, who's trying to build businesses. You have to vote somebody in that is pro-Californian, not anti-Californian. Gavin Newsom has been so anti-business, so anti-religion, so anti-everything. All that he focuses on is his government and his power. That's the only thing he focuses on. Californians don't care. He tells Californians, you can't go out, you can't do anything, but yet he goes to a restaurant, at the most expensive restaurant in Northern California. I've tried to get into that restaurant, and that waiting list is over a year long. So understand me when I say this from the heart as a born Californian. It's time for a change, or else. This is Mike Lodge. I'll talk with you soon. If you have any questions, send it to me at mediator@lodge-co.com. Again, that's mediator@lodge-co.com. If you like my podcast, my blogs, my vlogs, support me by going to www.buymeacoffee.com/Michael Lodge. Again, that's www.buymeacoffee.com/Michael Lodge. If you like what I'm doing, if you like the content that I'm producing for you every single day, come on, join, follow, let's talk. This is Mike Lodge. I'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye. This podcast has been produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content.